We're back and saying good morning to Ami Kaufman, who joins us daily to give us a different look at the stories making headlines around the world. Good morning, Ami.
Good morning, Yael. How are you?
I'm good. Good to be here and get my refreshing daily headlines that I definitely missed while I was scanning the newspapers.
Well, you missed the bow tie too, right? You didn't.
No, I've seen your.
I've
seen your bow tie. Yeah, you've made your mark on this world.
That's right. That's right. Okay, let's go to the states. Let's talk about Lindsey Graham.
Okay.
4 down, 12 to go in the Republican field. Lindsey Graham dropped out of the race yesterday. Let's face it, it's not really surprising because the man was doing in the polls dismally. It was just horrible. He was under 1%, sometimes at 0.5%, sometimes wasn't even registering. Never got onto the main stage. We have a report about it. I want to see how he notified all his people through YouTube and the repercussions in the Republican Party. Let's check it out.
Let's take a look.
Candidates crisscross New Hampshire with the primary 50 days away, but one candidate isn't stumping. Lindsey Graham announcing his exit on social media.
I'm suspending my campaign, but never my commitment.
The news traveled fast. Chris Christie learning about it from reporters at an event in Hollis, New Hampshire.
But I have great respect for Senator Graham. He's a great man, a great American.
Marco Rubio in Rochester already looking for an endorsement.
We'd love to have their support. It's probably premature to ask for that.
Rubio, Christie, and Ted Cruz are running tight in New Hampshire polls for the second-place spot. One-time frontrunner Ben Carson is now in the single digits. Carson in Manchester.
The reason that my poll numbers have taken a dip because people think that I'm a nice guy.
The Democratic and Republican frontrunners, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, are feuding after this Clinton claim during Saturday's ABC debate.
He is becoming ISIS's best recruiter. They are going to people showing videos of Donald Trump insulting Islam and Muslims.
The Clinton campaign says the former secretary was not referencing a specific video. The White House and terror experts say there's no hard evidence ISIS is using videos of Trump to recruit. Trump told Matt Lauer in a phone interview on the Today Show he wants an apology.
I will demand an apology from Hillary. She should apologize.
Will Clinton be offering that apology? Clinton campaign spokesman Brian Fallon says, quote, hell no. Megan Hughes, ABC News, Washington.
Hell no. You know, the rhetoric is just like upping.
Did you hear what Donald Trump said about Hillary Clinton last night at a rally?
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He used the word, it's a Yiddish word, I'll say it now. He said that, that she was beaten by Obama in 2008. He said that she was schlonged by Obama.
Unbelievable.
I'm not going to even translate that for, you know.
No, I didn't translate it, but I did tweet out, you know, I wonder how many people are Googling at this very moment schlonged. And I'm sure it's, you know.
It's up on the charts, right?
Up on the charts.
It's skyrocketing.
Not many people know what it means. You have to have some kind of history in Yiddish.
So sexist. It's just disgusting.
Horrible.
But I just want to focus a little more on Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
I think this is really going to be good for the Republicans and good for the Republican field, because one of the reasons, by the way, that I think that Trump is still so strong is because the field is just so wide still. Mm-hmm. They need to start weeding out those weak ones like Pataki at the bottom, Huckabee, and other ones. And you can see from this op-ed, I think, from Politico that I want to show you as well, which shows us that they kind of agree with what I'm saying. This is Katie Gluck from Politico. She says, by leaving now, he frees up some South Carolina donors and operatives who had either been backing Graham or staying neutral out of deference to the state's senior senator. He also positions himself as a kingmaker in the February 20th South Carolina primary. It's unclear whom Graham might back, but he has made his disdain known for 2 of the other candidates currently leading in South Carolina, Donald Trump and Ted Cruz.
Which has a lot. That's worth a lot. I mean,
it is.
It's worth a lot. If Lindsey Graham can actually, like, you know,
yeah,
blow the wind in the favor of another candidate that.
Exactly. I think if Republicans want to get things back on track before the Iowa caucus, they better start weeding out some of these other weak ones as well.
Wow.
Back here to Israel, let's talk about the Likud ruling party and Silvan Shalom, the interior minister, who has been basically forced to resign because of some sexual allegations. I think now we're up to about 11 or 12 women.
12, I think.
12 women.
Yes, now Title II had another
one. And it seems like every day there's just another one and another. And so it's about.
And it's interesting because they come out even after he has resigned. So you see that it's not like some kind of political, you know, conspiracy to get him out. It's, you know, these are actually women that have things to say.
Yes, we're going to talk about that. I just want to show you this headline from Haaretz before we see a report, that the man who's going to replace him is going to be the Likud's first openly gay lawmaker. This is attorney Amir Ohana. He's the head of the Likud's LGBT caucus, who will now replace Silvan Shalom in the Knesset. I think that's amazing.
Amazing, and it'll be super interesting to see how he kind of settles between the LGBT caucus and that background versus the right wing, policies.
There haven't been many LGBT openly in the Knesset, and they've been from the left wing. So this is the first one from the right wing party. But let's talk about Silvan Shalom. We have a report about him and how his ascent and his descent.
Let's take a look.
There are those rare success stories of people who began from scratch, worked hard, rose to prominence, and made their dreams come true while inspiring humanity. But there are also those whose dreams were just a grasp away, but remained out of reach. Silvan Shalom almost had it all. The boy who was born in Tunisia grew up in a tiny apartment in a neglected neighborhood, determinedly and thoroughly fought his way up to become one of the most veteran and prominent politicians in Israel. His march to the top began at the age of 25 as a journalist in a national newspaper, and by the age of 30, he was already the CEO of the governmental energy ministry. When he was 34, he became a parliament member for the Likud party, and his personal story and social agenda swayed many Israelis, namely those coming from North Africa. Then he began a long journey within the different ministries in almost every field: Deputy Defense Minister, Science Minister, Treasury, Foreign Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and the list goes on and on. Shalom was not just someone who engaged in politics, but was a politician with all his soul.
The easiest thing to do is leave. The easiest thing to do is give up. The kitchen is hot, no doubt about it. It's not simple nor easy, but when you know you are doing it for the sake of the Israeli people, you can tolerate any bad smell.
His marriage to Judy Moses, a well-known Israeli socialite and the scion of an extremely wealthy and powerful family, which among other assets owned the country's largest daily, only strengthened his position and enlarged his goals. Yet Shalom remained constantly overshadowed by Benjamin Netanyahu, and his dreams of becoming a prime minister slowly faded away. But in 2014, Shalom identified a new opportunity and wished to join the presidential race. It was then that claims about Shalom's conduct with women began emerging.
I told him, listen, leave and say, 16 years ago I cheated on my wife, I exploited my authority, and people will love you more. But he told me, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Shalom's unwavering path to success was diverted this week. Once again, numerous claims of improper relations and sexual harassment by no less than 13 women, who so far have yet to formally testify or press charges, caused a massive public uproar, leading Shalom to announce his resignation from the political life he loved so much. The state prosecutor ordered the Israeli police to renew a previous investigation into the claims, but no matter the result of such an examination, for Shalom, there's no way back.
Has to be said that this, regardless if it goes on to criminal investigation and so forth, this is a revolution, really, in the way women's complaints are treated by parliamentary members.
I think what's interesting about this is, by the way, how female Knesset members are really standing up for the women who are complaining. I think that is really pivotal this time compared to other instances of sexual harassment by other MKs. And
although women in his own party have been relatively silent, here and there have been some of the MKs that have spoken out.
Very true.
But it's been really women from the left, and it has to be something that's completely bipartisan on that.
Very true. Let's take a look at some of the top pundits in Israel and how they're taking this. First, Yossi Verta, the top political pundit from Haaretz, who says that Silvan didn't really understand how the times are changing. Listen to what he says. Silvan Shalom was the most learned minister in Likud. He spent many years at university adding degree after degree. He was always proud of his formal education, but there's one thing he seemingly never learned, that over the years the norms in Israel have changed. The legislators changed the rules, and the spirit of the times is far removed from what it once was.
Absolutely.
And lastly, just another one from Ynet, which, by the way, I have to mention is owned by is part of Yediot Ahronot, which is owned by the Moses family, which Silvan Shalom is married into, his wife Judy Nir Shalom Moses. Let's see what Sima Kadmon says, probably another top pundit in Israel. Those who know Shalom can imagine just how difficult the decision was for him, meaning to resign. In the previous round, and by the way, when he was running for president of Israel, and he was forced to resign from that race because of other sexual allegations, harassment. It took him a long time to decide to drop his bid for president, although the delay was a big bet. This time, the price is much higher. For Shalom, bidding farewell to the life he has been living for 23 years now, in which he served as a senior minister in quite a few ministries, must feel like Samson felt when his hair was cut off. His source of power has been taken away from him, his strength.
Cynics will say time will go by, society will forget, and he'll be back in studios as a political commentator, and things.
You're an optimist.
I don't know if that's optimism. I don't know. Don't get me into that corner.
Okay.
Ami Kaufman, thank you for joining us. You'll be back.
Yes.